And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, April 2nd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
And hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here on a Wednesday morning, April the 2nd, and I hope you made it through the April Fool jokes yesterday. I heard a couple of good ones. We won't get into that this morning, but we will introduce Bob McDonald, President, CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. And Bob, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman. Great to be with you. Thanks for having us again.
I'm sure you've stuck your head out the door already this morning, and you may even be in the office, but it's more like spring today.
Yeah, we're starting to kind of get into the good weather that you hear me talk about, and so I couldn't be happier with this weather. We've got it looks like the forecast is indicating we've got some rough weather coming in the next couple of days. Is that right?
Yeah, we can expect some strong winds, some possible worse than that, but hopefully not. Seems like anymore, if the wind blows very hard, there's a tree down somewhere.
Right.
But that goes with the territory, I guess.
Well, tell me, before we start talking about banking, tell me a little bit about the Reds and what kind of season you're hoping out of them this year.
Well, I have been hoping for a great year, and night before last they won 14-3, and I don't know how many hits they got, but they were hitting the ball all over the place. Last night they got beat 1-0. They got one hit. No, I'm sorry. They both teams got 4 hits, but the one hit that the opponent, I'm trying to think who they were playing, they got a home run, and only 4 hits, but one was a home run, and so they got beat 1-0. They're 2-3 for the year, so we're hoping for greater things.
Well, I'm always thinking about you this time of year, and I'll be rooting on your Reds every chance I get.
Oh, great. Well, our friends in Atlanta, the Braves, aren't doing so well. I think they've lost 5 in a row, and I forgot about yesterday. But anyway, let's get to banking.
Yeah, I'd like to just start out our program by talking about the Teacher of the Year banquet that'll be this Friday night, 2 nights away, and we're very excited about that. I know WP and I get excited throughout the year on this program, and his colleague Susan and my colleague Debbie work very hard on this program throughout the year, and I know they're really after it right now, getting all the final arrangements confirmed, and so we're looking forward to that. We're going to have over 150 people there, Coleman. We've got 33 teachers and their guests, and principals from each school, and administrators from each school program, and government leaders, and so it's just a great night as we celebrate these 33 teachers, but also importantly as we celebrate teaching as a vocation and their colleagues in their various schoolhouses.
Yeah, and I think, again, we don't show our appreciation as much as we should to you and Cedarstone and WP Bone and Wilson County Motors for what you've done all these years. But I do think that it's much appreciated by the teachers, and I don't think you did it just for the publicity or the advertising benefits. You did it to enhance education and call attention to the great things that teachers do.
Well, that's exactly right. That's why we do it, is to celebrate teachers, celebrate teaching. I can remember every single teacher I had from kindergarten to 12th grade and the impact that they had on my life and the things that they taught me. Some academic, such as reading and writing, but other things they taught me in terms of just how to act in general society and how to be a good person, and or at least try to be a good person. So they're very important people, and they are easy for us to take them for granted. You know, they work hard. They get into the schoolhouse each day at about 7:15. They don't leave the schoolhouse till about 4:30 or 5, so they don't get to get out and interact and go have lunch with friends during the week, and they get home and they're tired, and so we just try to uplift them with a great evening and spread the the great word about the work that they do. So we're looking forward to it, Coleman. 26 years we've been doing this.
Right. And
hundreds of teachers that we've celebrated throughout that time.
Right. All right, what else?
All right, well, we'll wrap it up with Simply Free Checking. You know, we're, as we talked last week, we've wrapped up the first quarter of 2025. It's hard to believe when I say that, but we had a great first quarter, Coleman. We made a lot of new loans. We opened a lot of new deposits. We supported many community endeavors and activities, and so we had a very good year, very pleased with it, and we expect that to continue. Our new business that we have that we're looking to complete here in the upcoming quarter is very strong. So it's been a great year, and we've opened up a lot of those free checking accounts, Coleman, and there's no wonder. I mean, it is free in every way. If you like to write checks, we provide those. If you want to do your banking electronically, we have a first-rate electronic banking program where you can do your banking on your computer or on your phone. You can move money around. You can make payments on loans. So it's a great program, and we give you an ATM card, debit card that you can use, and so it's a great deposit account that we have, and we've been very pleased with it from the very beginning.
Well, you've got what people need, and there's nothing better, I don't think, than to get started with a free checking account. So, a word to the wise ought to be sufficient here.
Yes, if any of your listeners who don't bank with us, it'd be our pleasure and a real delight for us to visit and talk about free checking and any other of our programs that we offer.
All right, well, Bob, have a great one. Hopefully we'll do it again next Wednesday.
Thank you, Coleman. Talk to you.
All right. Bob McDonald, President and Chief Executive Officer for Cedar Stone Bank. Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, simple banking, simply better. We're 11 after the hour, and here on the first Wednesday of the month, we feature the UT Extension Office. Lesline Watkins is my guest this morning, and good morning to you.
Good morning. How's it going?
Well, I'm going to start off this morning talking about last night for a minute, the 18th Annual Wilson County Ag Hall of Fame banquet, and people inducted. It was almost a full house last night there at Farm Bureau Expo Center, and I guess you, Leslie, are very much aware of that. I don't remember seeing you. But.
Yeah, I wasn't there, unfortunately. I was actually doing a program at the same time at the fairgrounds, though. So, but I know it's a big event, and everyone looks forward to it.
Well, your boss was there.
Yeah.
And he made a talk for one of those that was being inducted, Ruth Carell. And Miss Ruth, of course, and for those of you who don't know it, former State Representative Stratton Bone, Ruth Carell, who was formerly the county extension leader, and Debbie Joines, who worked with soil testing and so on, and then Quentin and Vicki Smith. Quentin, of course, deceased, but he and husband and wife team joined, and Quentin had run the Ag Center for quite some time, among a lot of other things. But anyway, it was a great evening, and Keith Harrison and the people on the Ag Hall of Fame committee did a really fine job. Well, I'm sorry you didn't make it, but I'll tell you what, your boss made up for it. He had a good joke or two, and told about Miss Ruth and working for her. And his first day, it started at was it 7 o'clock, and it got through at 10:30 or something like that. You probably heard the
that
story.
Sounds about right, yeah.
All right. I don't want to take too much of your time.
Fine.
You're here to tell us what you're doing, what's on your mind today.
Yeah. I've been busy since the start of the year. Right now, I'm working on the class that I was talking about that I was doing last night. It's a cooking class for parents. So right now, we're going through a 4-week series where we learn about different ways to cook healthy meals on a budget, how to be safe in the kitchen, how to cook things safely, how to stock your pantry, all that great stuff that goes into cooking healthy meals for people and their families. So we do that on Tuesday nights at the Veterans Building, and got a full house in there, and I've really enjoyed it so far.
Well, I guess there's a lot of things that are, as we would say, on your plate, your responsibilities to do as a member of the team at the UT Extension Office. What primarily is your your area of responsibility?
Yeah, so I'm technically like a nutrition educator, I guess you could say, or a nutritionist. So I focus primarily on what it means to eat healthy, how to shop for healthy food, and just teaching in that aspect. We talk about physical activity.
Well, you had some training and some learning, and it probably started when you were a little girl, but has increased, and then you really focused on that later on, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm actually right now I'm going for my master's in public health right now, and I'm getting ready to graduate. So I'm really just into that aspect of community health when it comes to just everything within the realm of public health and community health and how we can build a better community.
Well, is this something that you just really aspired to do, or something kind of fell in your lap? I'm wondering, is this something you thought about for years and years?
Yeah, well, it kind of changed over time. When I first started, when I was doing my undergrad, I had actually started out doing nursing, and only because my grandparents were nurses. So I thought that would be a good idea, but I knew that I always wanted to do something within the health field, whether it be public health or nursing. But I transitioned into what's called human ecology. So it's kind of like child development and family studies. And then from there, it kind of led me into this path of, where I'm at as an extension agent.
Well, I take it you do enjoy what you're doing.
Oh, I love it so much. I'm actually coming up on my 5th year with Extension. So,
all here?
Yep, all here. And I interned with Extension in 2018. So if you count that, it'd be 5.5 years. But
okay. All right. Leslie Watkins is with us from the UT Extension office, but it's time for us to take a break, which we'll do right here, and more coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, let's go ahead and check in with Chuck.
Good morning. Still a little bit heavy, but it's moving better than it was on 24 westbound up through Antioch, where we had that earlier crash near Haywood Lane. It's just busy there. This time of the morning, all that traffic coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County into Davidson County. I see it slowing down now on 65 northbound up through Spring Hill as that traffic gets heavier. 65 south over here at Trinity Lane. When you need dependable towing in Middle Tennessee, call the best, and that would be STR Towing and Recovery. They're online. Check them out at strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Hi Phoenix fans, this is Quinlan Wiley from Noonan, Georgia, and I'm a senior pitcher for the Cumberland Phoenix. We're fighting for a Mid-South Conference championship, and we want all you guys to be a part of it. Come out to the 6 and watch us battle Campbellsville in a huge Mid-South Conference series on the weekend. All games can be heard online at WANTFM.com, GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Check out the CU website for game times. I'll see you at the 6.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Leslie Watkins here, representing the UT Extension office, and we feature them once a month here on the first Wednesday of the month. So back to you. What else can you tell us this morning?
Yeah, I'm just trying to rack my brain about everything I've been doing. One thing that I'm excited about, I look forward to around this time of year, is the exercise program I do at the Cedar Seniors Center. I really enjoy that program. So we do about like a 16-week long exercise program. Sounds like a long time, but this is just a way to get seniors, up and moving, give them some strength training, flexibility exercises, and things like that. So that's one thing I've really been enjoying. So.
Well, now, how often you do that? How you said?
Yeah.
Did you say 16 weeks?
16 weeks.
So that's
a long
13
time.
Weeks is a quarter. That's a little over a quarter of the year.
Yeah, a little over the quarter of a year, but they enjoy it. And we do about an hour on Thursdays, every Thursday morning, just to get them up and moving. To
you have to you twist any arms?
Not twisting any arms. We mainly do like stretches and very like squats. Nothing too intense. Low impact exercises is how I typically describe it.
Is this for men and women?
Yep, for men and women. Anyone who wants to join.
Well, I'm gonna guess you got more women than you have men.
I do. I luckily I got one male in there this year, so I'm happy whenever I can get a male joining my program.
Well, now, is it too late to join you for that?
Yeah, well, technically it is too late to join, but I always encourage people to stop by if they want to visit just to see what it looks like in case they want to join at a later time. So
yeah. Well, what do you hope to accomplish? You mentioned this sort of, but I mean, hopefully at the end of 16 weeks, people are a little bit more agile and moving around, whatever they were when they started.
Yeah, so the goal is to help people like build on any strength that they have now or increase any strength that they want to try to, build towards. That's why it is so long, is because it's kind of like you're trying to reach a goal, right? You're trying to start from one point to see where you're at with your flexibility, with your agility. Balance is a big one too. So from point A to point B being the end of the program, hopefully we'll see an increase. We use weights sometimes, like very small weights for those who are able to try to increase those, the muscle strength and things like that.
Well, now you've got some, I think 55 actually is, you are really a senior citizen at 55, and there's some that's 85 and older. So there's a 30-year difference?
Yeah, wide range.
You see an age difference in those that are in your program?
Yeah, and it really depends. It's kind of like a cohort type of thing. Like I've had classes where they're on the younger end of that age range and then some that are on the older end. And then right now I think it's kind of across the board. But honestly, I really like these exercises because anybody can do them and you can kind of tailor them to your, your ability, I guess you could say.
Well, what happens after the 16 weeks? I mean, you can just sit back down and then it didn't, I guess you'd say, it was good while it lasted, but if you don't continue.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. We encourage people to keep going beyond that. We really encourage our participants to do even more than just the 1 hour a week. So anytime you can get in about 60 minutes of cardio a week or 120 minutes of cardio and then 60 minutes of strength training. So that's where you're using weights and things like that to build your muscle. If you can continue doing that.
Well, we do here. We have some people I know some people that walk every day, but that's about all they do.
Yeah.
Now, what you're doing is I'm taking it is better, helps you more than just walking.
Yeah, it's kind of like an addition to walking, so like supplement. So yeah, it's great to be walking, but definitely if you can, it shouldn't be the only thing you do. You got to have that kind of those exercises that really like I guess you could say like utilizing your muscles is the best way to do it. So anything with free weights, anything where you're walking up the stairs, biking, swimming, anything where you're exerting that energy using your muscles other than just walking is really beneficial for you in the long run.
Well, do you ever have somebody to get hurt or to
No.
You're pushing me too hard?
That is a good point. No, I've thankfully never had that happen. I think the exercises are a low impact enough for that to not happen. But I am CPR and first aid certified in case something were to ever happen. Knock on wood. But we try to keep it slow, take it easy. I tell people to never do more than what they're able to. And if something hurts, don't do it. I know a lot of people think, if it hurts, that means it's working, but that's not necessarily the case.
Well, you seem to have really applied yourself in learning a number of things.
I try to.
So you want to be prepared for whatever comes along.
Exactly. You never know what to expect, especially with extension programs. So we try to cover all the bases.
All right, we're just getting started good here. You got some more to tell us, I'm sure. What else is happening?
Yeah, so I do programs for people of all ages. So I've talked about my senior programs and then the program for adults, and I've been doing some youth programs as well. I actually just finished up a cooking program with a 6th grade class at Winfrey Bryant. It's actually a math class. It's surprising, but we were able to incorporate some of those math aspects into things like measuring and, all those different kitchen, skills that you learn that are related to math. And you can, and then we also got to make food so which is the best part. So one week we would learn a lesson about nutrition and cooking, and then the next week we would cook a meal or a snack. So.
Well, now here you are going from people that are senior citizens, even in their 80s, to people who are in elementary school, sixth grade, I believe you said.
Absolutely.
What, 12, 13 years old, maybe 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
That's a whole different
wide range. Yeah, and we know that nutrition, health, all those things it's a lifelong, learning thing. So I love getting them in early, but my biggest thing I always try to tell for my seniors, I love teaching older adults, because just because you're older doesn't mean you have to stop eating healthy or stop, taking care of your body. So it's always there's skills that you can have at all of those different ages.
Well, your presentation though to these sixth graders has got to be different from what you're talking to.
Yeah, it is a little different.
Citizens.
Yeah.
Now, how do you manage to is there a juggling act involved?
That's a good point, and it's kind of a little bit more similar than you'd think. You got to keep people's attention somehow, whether it's the younger kids or the older adults. But it's really just, keeping them engaged, telling a joke every once in a while, just talking about something that they care about. So I think that's the biggest thing. So the things that younger kids care about is a little bit different than the things that older people care about. So just tailoring what I'm saying is a big thing, and it kind of gets to them.
All right, well, I gotta ask you this. Are these sixth graders now, today, care about the same thing you cared about when you were a sixth grader?
Not quite. Their priorities are definitely different than what I was thinking about when I was in sixth grade. This generation is different, but we got to take care of them regardless.
Television, social media, computers made a difference.
Phones, I don't think I didn't have a smartphone when I was in sixth grade, but they are definitely big on the phones. This class that I was working with wasn't too bad. They were pretty. I think it was like a pre-AP class, so they were a little bit smarter. They're a little bit more, engaged with their class. So I didn't have any trouble with them. So,
do you have other people across the state, maybe surrounding counties that have a job similar to what you have doing the same thing? And I'm wondering if you collaborate with them, if you all get together or compare notes or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually work within Extension. I work under a grant-funded program called the Tennessee Nutrition and Consumer Education Program. It's a long name, but we call it TNCEP. And we have TNCEP agents in counties like Davidson, Sumner, Rutherford. Not every county has the person that I do. Every county has an extension office, but not exactly what I do. But yeah, we actually meet the agents that do work in the central region of Tennessee. We meet once a quarter to collaborate, to talk about ideas for new programs and how we could reach more people within our counties and all that good brainstorming type of stuff.
Well, that's no doubt that's encouraging.
It's encouraging, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that you do that you want to talk about this morning? Got 3 minutes here.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think. One thing that I try to do within the community outside of just, programs where I'm teaching people is, like project-based things. So I've worked with some community gardens within the area. So the one at the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center, I've worked to help build that with Vine Branch Fellowship. So they're a really big partner of mine. They not only do we collaborate on projects like that, but they also help sponsor my program. So with our cooking classes, we actually give our participants free groceries to take home after each class, and Vine Branch is able to sponsor that and pay for those groceries. So they're big.
Well, you got plans for another one over there this year?
Another garden?
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get start seeding in things like that. But right now it's in place and it's ready to go. So I don't know about any plans for new gardens or anything. But the school gardens at Sam Houston and I can't think of all the other ones. But yeah, those have been a big collaboration for us. So we try to do things outside of just teaching people, but giving people those resources that they need to eat healthy as well. Because you can't, you could teach about it all day, but if you don't have the food to be able to do it, it makes it a little bit harder.
Well, there's always something about watching things grow. Mm-hmm. Some things you plant in the ground, you plant seeds. Others you have like tomato. Well, you do tomatoes too, but most people buy tomato slips or whatever and plant them. And but once you get whatever it is in the ground, or it's there planted, ready to start growing. It's something about watching that and seeing it come up and mature and getting the fruits when they're ripe. I don't know. It's something fascinating to me about that.
Like mentally, it's encouraging.
But your younger people, some of them probably see that with you for the first time.
Right. So just giving them that idea, and then knowing like where their food comes from is a big thing as well. So a lot of times, kids don't have that concept of beyond a grocery store. So getting them that ability to be, or that opportunity to be able to see like how a plant grows and where it comes from and what it looks like from point A to point B when it gets onto your plate is a real big thing that we like to make.
Yeah, what was it? Hale Moss used to say these youngsters that don't grow up on the farm or whatever need to understand that chocolate milk doesn't come from brown
chocolate cows. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Well, Leslie, appreciate you being with us here this morning. It seems like you do have a variety of things that you are involved in, and I hope that people appreciate your efforts to help them be better informed and learn from what you're doing.
Absolutely. And if anybody ever has any questions about nutrition-related topics or need recipes or anything related to extension, they can give our office a call at 615-444-9584, and we're always happy to help.
9584.
9584.
All right. Well, again, thanks for being with us today. Glad to have you.
Thank you so much.
Leslie Watkins with the UT Extension Office, and that's part one of Coleman and Company. We've got Mayor Bell on part two this morning, so stay with us right here on FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways, and it's all brought to you by our friends at Bates Ford. Get a battery installed in most vehicles. $199.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Finish up a couple of ranks we had out here earlier. It remains a little bit busy up through the Antioch area. We've definitely seen it worse than this before this time of the morning on 24 as you come past Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway. Traffic's on the increase even more in the last 15-20 minutes. There on 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. I-40 continues to build in from Dixon County through Keystone Springs. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, call Independent Roofing Specialists today. Check out irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sunday mornings, we invite you to God's country. Beginning at 7 with Brother Ricardo from Linwood Pentecostal Church, followed by the Gospel Show with Miss Dean, Words of Hope from Randy Rollins, music and message from the Journey Church, Pastor Ferguson from Hillcrest Baptist, Call on God Today with Kenneth Bowen, the Commerce Church of Christ, and Southern Gospel from our own crew. You'll be blessed on air or online at wattfm.com.
Hello, this is Jordan with the Wilson Central FFA, here to update you on the exciting events we have coming up soon. We just returned from the state convention, where our chapter brought home several state titles, and we are extremely proud of the hard work our members have put in this year. We have our truck show fundraiser this Saturday, April 5th at Wilson Central. Gates open at 12:30 and admission is $10. Both cars and trucks are welcome to register, and we look forward to seeing everyone come out. As always, you can find additional information about events coming up on Facebook and Instagram, and have a great week.
We'll have cloudy, windy, and very warm conditions for today. Highs will be in the lower 80s. Winds may gust over 40 miles per hour at times. Cloudy skies tonight. A few showers and thunderstorms possible, and some of those storms may be strong. Lows in the upper 60s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions.
Hey, we welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company. Here on a Wednesday morning, we're going to get started with my guest, who's Mayor Rick Bell. He's right here this morning. Mayor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's good to see you. The weather's a little bit warmer this morning, although I think we're probably going to get some rain and some strong wind.
We are. So there have been some meetings with the National Weather Service with our police department and with our street department as well, and so they're keeping up with it. My last report yesterday, they think some of the worst of it may be to the west and north of us, but we'll see what happens.
All right.
We'll be ready.
Well, had a city council meeting last night, first and for the month of April, and one thing we might even mention before we get into that, I believe, hasn't the city cleanup started Monday?
It has. It started. So want to make sure everybody remembers that. So this is spring cleanup time, and and so the guys, they've been out all week, canvassing across the city, picking up things that have been left by the road, and so that they'll do that again next week. So if you miss this week, be sure and get everything out next week before 6 o'clock on Monday morning, because I don't know the routes, don't know how fast they go. So they may get to you first, but if they don't get to you first, they will get to you at some point. But this is the time for that, and
it's pretty much 2 trips to the city, isn't it?
It is. It's 2 trips, and so I appreciate them out doing that. It's not easy, it's work, but it is something that we offer for people during this time of year, and so anyway, yesterday I actually got a call from someone who said, "Hey, have they been by my street yet? I need to get some stuff out there." And I said, "Well, they'll be back," and that was my Aunt Nancy, by the way. So,
Well, I'm surprised in a way that you can do this in 2 weeks, but you must have some diligent workers.
They do. They work hard, and and not everybody does it, So
Right.
But Lee Clark, we
some of us ought to.
Well, I don't do it either, and I know I need to. I have a garage full of stuff, but Lee Clark, we'll probably talk about that going forward. I mean, it might be something we need to expand in the future, but right now 2 weeks seems to work.
Yeah. Okay, you want to get to last night's meeting?
Yeah, we can do that. So last night we had a short meeting, but there were a lot of things that happened. And the first thing, there are a couple of things. One, I did put in front of council last night to reappoint Bob Lanham to the beer board. That's something that council has to approve. I can't just put somebody on it. And Mr. Lanham, he's been on it for several years now, and he hangs out with the senior center sometimes. So this is something else he does, and so I appreciate Mr. Lanham doing that and agreeing to serve again. And that's a group that meets once a month, and they handle some pretty serious things. If the police department finds someone out there serving underage people, then they have to go on the beer board, and they get in trouble. They get punished for that. So this is an important board. And also last night we were able to offer a proclamation. John Ball is someone who has been important to the city of Lebanon for a long time with the airport, and he passed away just a few weeks ago. And so last night we presented a proclamation honoring him to his wife, Deborah, and there were a lot of the airport commission members there, and a lot of people who have been involved in that for a long time, and so to support her, and she was surprised. She didn't know it was coming.
Oh.
And so Mr. Ball, he meant a lot to the airport. Anybody who's involved in that, but not just our local airport. He was involved in aviation on a state level, a national level. He was known nationwide in the aviation world, and so
I think when and I didn't know him all that well, met him, I think, and seen him in a civic club a time or two and some stuff like that. But just when you heard his name mentioned, you just thought, you hear John Ball, you think aviation.
That's it. I mean, that's who he was. That's what people thought. And last night, the proclamation read that he started out in the Navy, and that's where he began to love aviation, and he carried out throughout his life. He owned planes. He was, when Governor Ned McWhorter appointed him to the state, aeronautics commission, that basically oversees all airports, and so he was bigger than just the Lebanon airport. He was involved on a bunch of levels, and so it was really. It was an honor to give that proclamation to her last night. And she was also there for another reason. So I don't know how many people have heard about this. So out on Franklin Road, just kind of across from the airport by the runway, there's a piece of property, and the Ball family is leading the way to put there the Tennessee Aviation Hall of Fame and Museum. So they need to be rezoned. And so last night that came in front of the city council for first reading, and she was there to present that. That's why she was there, and she didn't know we were giving her a proclamation. And so
you killed 2 birds with one stone.
Well, he did, and so she had renderings of the building. It's going to be really nice, and that's something they are doing. And so I appreciate them bringing that to Lebanon. Mr. Ball, he's in the Hall of Fame, but I think it's going to be a great addition to our city. It's going to be a great addition to our airport area. And so I really appreciate them bringing that to the city. And as I told the council last night after they voted, I appreciated them approving that. I would have hated to have her up there giving a proclamation, then they voted down her rezone. So, but I think it's going to be a great addition, and when it opens, I hope everybody gets out there and sees it.
This, I guess, would be another reason for people to come to Lebanon.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And, being a historian, whenever we travel, I always make Nicole go to museums. And so I think this is something that'll draw people. And also, they're building it to have banquets and stuff there, too. So they can have events there, bringing people in from across the state and have things like that. So I think it's going to be a really good addition to everything.
Well, as far as the rezoning, that was, I take it there wasn't anything really controversial about it.
There was, and it was a SP, and it's going to be a nice building there. It's going to be really pretty, and it sits right on Franklin Road. Just if you come off Hartman, it's just you go through the tunnel, and then it's right there on the right. So,
okay. So
it's going to be a really good addition over there. A couple other things that happened last night on the council meeting. Last time I mentioned, Coleman, that that we have a federal grant through TDOT to fix some railroad crossings on the bypass on South Cumberland. So that approved second reading last night. There's 7 locations to smooth those out. We get calls all the time about railroad crossings, how rough they are, and we have to tell people that's not our territory. That belongs to the railroad, and that's their right of way. So we can't touch it, but they can. And
you can tell them about it.
Well, we sure can. We tell them about it, and TDOT as well. So this grant is coming in to fix those. There's 7 crossings in Coleman. That's $2.3 million
really?
to fix those 7 crossings. So there's a lot of work that's going to go into it. So
if you divide 23 by 7 is that's over 3 million. If you average it out,
so that's
quite a bit of money.
Yeah, so that's $300,000 a piece on 7 of them, so a little over. So, but that work will start, here at some point, and so people just get ready for that, and we'll be out there smoothing out those railroad tracks.
I said that wrong, didn't I? I was divided, 700,000, not 7.
Yeah,
but we get it.
But it's a lot of money.
How long will it take?
That I don't know how long it'll take, and I don't know what the process is, whether they're doing one at a time or try to get them all done at once. I'm not sure how it works, but I'll find out, and I'll report that back, to you next time.
When's it going to start?
That's a good question, too. Construction usually, they like for it to happen in good weather, so I'm sure they'll wait till it gets where it's dried out good.
Could we maybe expect that to be done by the end of the year?
I think so. Yeah, I do think that. I believe it'll be done here, this summer, but I'll get the word out on when that'll be.
All right.
Yeah. Now, another thing last night that we talked about last time too, Coleman, was we have a public-private partnership to fix 109, do some safety work out there. This last night was second reading. It passed 4-2, so I appreciate everyone who voted to approve that. And this is something that, it got some publicity, I think on social media and on the news as well. And really what's happening out there is that, about 15 years ago, TDOT came in and said, this area just south of the interstate has to be fixed. Now, 15 years ago, there wasn't a lot going on 109 like it is now. There's 40,000 cars a day go up and down that road. And what they were talking about was just south of the interstate, Safari Camp Road and Leeville Road come out there, and it's too close to the ramps. And they told the city, you're going to have to fix this at some point. And it costs a lot of money. It really does. And so last year or so, we had an opportunity, the Wilson Farms, a development out there by a local person. Walmart, that we recruited another Walmart here in town, they picked Wilson Farms as their site, and they had to do a traffic study to set themselves up. And one of the things that we realized there was we have an opportunity to fix this TDOT situation. So Jeff Baines, Kristen Rice, Sarah Hayes, and I, we went down to TDOT, and the TDOT, what they wanted would cost a lot of money. I'm talking about a real lot of money, about 3 times of what we're doing now. And Kristen came up with a plan that TDOT accepted. that would cost about 3 times less than their plan. And so we had this opportunity to build this road, and it's a split cost between us and the local developer. And we put in about $1.2 million, and he puts in about $900,000 to make those safety improvements, fix that, create a traffic signal that could go into that development where Walmart's going to be. So, Coleman, what I'm talking about is we're doing something that's fixing safety down there, and there's wrecks down there a lot, but also we're going to get paid our money back. So Walmart comes in, they open up, we'll get our money back within less than a year. And then Walmart will be producing for years and years to come. This Walmart we have in town now is our leading sales tax producer. We get about $130,000 a month off of it. You create another Walmart on that side of town, that's a lot more sales taxes coming in. So it's a multi-layered thing. We fix the safety issues. We get a sales tax producer that will pay us back for fixing those safety issues. It will continue to produce. It will also create an opportunity for people on the west side of town to stop in Lebanon and shop and not go to Mount Juliet and shop. And also we can pick up those 40,000 cars a day that come from Murfreesboro and Gallatin and Portland and all these places. They may stop there too and shop and then go home. So this is, Coleman, a win for everybody. But most importantly, it's 4-2. But most importantly, it's a win for citizens of Lebanon because we get this sales tax revenue to provide services, and also it's a convenient place for people to shop.
Well, what's the negative or the opposite? Where the opposition comes?
Last night, there wasn't much talk about it. During the first meeting 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of discussion, and a lot of it was we've done several public-private partnerships, and Coleman, when I took office, people told me all the time they wanted name brand box stores to shop in, and they wanted name brand sit down restaurants to eat in. And so I've made a priority to go get those things, and we've done a really good job. We've had a lot of announcements these past 4 years, and I think that for the two who voted against it, they were really wanted us to start looking at ways we can help smaller locally owned businesses too. And we had a meeting yesterday with our Industrial Development Board to create a platform for that. That's something I want to do as well. But it is a process to get that done, and it's coming. But this situation here is, it's, as I said, it's a win for everybody. It really is. But most importantly, it's a win for us to get that sales tax revenue, provide a place for people to shop. And frankly, Coleman, I don't know why anybody would be against it. I really don't.
Okay. Time for us to take a break. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is here. More coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's go ahead and see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, T-Dot's moving a stalled car right now on 40 westbound on that ramp to Spence Lane. It's pretty crowded coming off Vietnam Vets onto 65 going southbound, all that traffic flow. Trying to get down through Madison at the moment. It's building pretty good now up through Williamson County coming in from Murray County there up through Spring Hill on 65 going northbound. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has live entertainment. Starts tonight at 6 o'clock. Check out their menu today at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at mylebanonTNDentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
We continue here on this Wednesday morning, Lebanon. Mayor Rick Bell, and about 12 minutes before 8 o'clock, Mayor, 12 more minutes to find out what's on your mind this morning.
Well, there's one more thing on the council meeting last night I wanted to talk about because we had some people show up, and they had a representative speak for them, and it was the people who sell fireworks every year. And you may remember, Coleman, that back in February, Phil Moorhead sponsored an ordinance to shorten the time that people can shoot fireworks in town. Yeah. And that was for about 5 days from July 1st to July 5th, obviously around the 4th of July. And you know, because every year, you know, we get complaints about people shooting really late for a month, you know, and the LPD does get a lot of calls, and the fire department does as well. So Phil, he wanted to sponsor that, and it passed. But part of what that was they also set dates where fireworks could be sold. Yeah. And those dates were, I think it was started June 1st and went on up to the 5th. But what happened was after that was passed, Stuart Lawson, who's our Commissioner of Finance, realized that there's a state law that determines the dates that fireworks can be sold. Now, you don't have to allow them to be sold, but if you do, you have to do them on these certain dates. And that was June 20th through July 5th. So we extended the dates and should have. So last night we had an ordinance on the agenda to fix those dates. And so last night some of the fireworks sellers, they came out and they thought that last night was actually to limit the shooting of fireworks but that had already passed. Mm-hmm. This was, in fact, what happened last night helps the fireworks sellers or actually what we had done in February helped them because it lengthened their time to sell. And so last night we had to shrink it back to where the state law is. And so that'll be a second reading next time. And so it's kind of confusing, but the basic aspect of it is that the city council last month limited the amount of time people can shoot fireworks, and now we've established the dates that people can sell fireworks to match what the state says. Okay. But again, I know that affects people, and one of the things that their representative said to us last night was, that people are still going to shoot fireworks at New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, and we know that, we know that, but really there's the LPD sees a lot of abuse out there, people shooting up into the wee hours of the morning, or they've even had examples of people, entire streets being taken over by fireworks fights and things like that. Yeah. So that's really what we're trying to stop, and that's the point.
All right.
So
moving right along.
Well, as far as the council last night, that was really it. And again, it was a short meeting, but a lot happened. But there are some things I thought I didn't want to talk about that I think are important. The Starbucks over on Main Street opened up since I was here last, and Nicole and I were able to go to their friends and family opening the night before they officially opened. That was really neat, and so they've been doing a lot of business. I've noticed that there's a line around the building every day, so they've started out well, so we really appreciate them coming here. That's their third location in Lebanon.
Now, you a big Starbucks fan yourself?
Well, Coleman, I don't drink coffee, so no, but I can tell you the other people in my house love it, and they stop all the time, and so I do get to go there sometimes and eat their food, and there are some drinks there I like. I just don't do the coffee part.
Okay.
So that's really good. And then yesterday we had the ribbon cutting at Fiddler's Grove. So they are officially open now, and we had that event out in the FFA 4-H building, and so they have ribbon cutting every year. And as I said, Coleman, that's a really important part of who we are. I know it's the Wilson County Fairgrounds, but it's in the city of Lebanon. And I was out there a couple weeks ago at the fairgrounds. The Sons of the American Revolution had their state convention here, and I went out there to make a presentation. And as I was leaving, one of the gentlemen, he ran out the door and he said, Mayor, I just want to tell you something. That he said for the SAR, I travel around the country a lot, go to a lot of places like this fairgrounds, and he said, what you have here with Fiddler's Grove, nobody else has. And so I just want to thank all the people who work at Fiddler's Grove. There's a lot of volunteers out there, and it really is. I think it's what sets the fair apart from other fairs, but also it's open more than that. And so go out there and enjoy it. They're open now. And then also last week, we had the ribbon cutting for the Del Webb community.
Yeah.
And so that's a really important part of our future. It's really nice. They had their model homes built. I walked through them, and I'm sad to say I qualify for Del Webb, but so it's really nice. So we went to their sales office, and that's going to be something. It really is. And as I was out there, and there's a lot of people there, and I was thinking about it. I was thinking about the past. You know, Bobby Jewell, when he was mayor, one of his dreams was to have another interstate exit in South Hartman Drive. And he really came up with that idea, and Mayor Don Fox was able to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And I can remember, and I know you can remember, Coleman, back when that part of Lebanon, Wilson County, it was out in the country.
Right.
I mean, it was.
Absolutely.
It really was. I mean, you
cornfields.
Yeah,
out there
you couldn't.
Right?
You couldn't get there. Barton's Creek area and Franklin Road out there, and that's where my grandfather J.W. Van Hook, he grew up out there, and with that South Hartman Drive being built, that really changed that area, but also gave us an opportunity that now we can build on. You know, with the sewer line that's going out there now, and with Del Webb and with Sam's and Target, and that's really going to become a very important area for the future of Lebanon as far as a commercial area and
a place where we can notice just to the west on both sides of the interstate there, it seems like there's a lot of construction. I don't know what's coming. I'm sure you do.
Well, if you drive down South Hartman and you go down past Bojangles, see all those roads been built, that's where Sam's and Target's going back in there, and other things too, that we don't even know about yet. And then if you go south interstate, go out to where Bates Ford is, and there's a hotel being built out there. And then, on past that, there's going to be the Goat restaurant, and there's all kinds of things happening out there. And
there's a number of dwellings, houses have been renovated, moved off, and you can see construction starting. Again, I don't know what, but you can tell it's something big.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on. You have Del Webb out there. There's a there's a roundabout on Barton's Creek Road now. I never thought I'd see that. and of course, Empower Me Day Camp. They're building their facility out there. Yeah. And there's just so much going on. And and as I think about that, I think about when I was on City Council, we started the process creating the South Hartman overlay to make it really nice out there. And we've since I've been mayor, we've built that. We started building that sewer line out there that's a $25 million sewer line, Coleman, and the city only put $2.5 million into it. I mean, that's a big deal, and that's another public-private partnership. But really, it all started with Bobby Jewell and Don Fox, and that's the way things work. I mean, you have to plan ahead, and they built that road out there. One of them thought about it, the other one got it finished. And now we're reaping the benefits of that, and that's as every day I go into office, I think I hope 20, 30 years from now, people look back and say, hey, they really set this place up to succeed, because those two mayors, they set us up to succeed.
Yeah. You got anything? I've got one something that we could talk about.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just an annual thing, and that's you budget, but you're probably beginning to work on.
We are. So right now I'm in the middle of a meeting with the department heads, and individually with Stuart Lawson and Sheriff Featherston, they put it all together. So we're going through each departmental budget, and and everything's looking good so far. We haven't finished. We still have we've done about half of them, and then we'll start here about the end of April, May. We'll start meeting with the city council, having those budget work sessions, and Stuart, he's come up his estimates of revenue and things like that, and so we're really starting to dig into it now, and then we'll vote on it in June. So
it's our fiscal situation look good. I mean, I'm hoping no tax increase and all that.
I'm hoping that too, Coleman.
but is it going to be a difficult budget? I guess is my question.
I don't think so. We've been pretty good for the past 4 years of putting these budgets together, and things have operated pretty well. They really have, and so things are going good. And as Nicole and I were talking home the other day, the economy, it's always fluctuating, but we've had a really good run lately, and we've been lucky. But I think our goal is to take advantage of that, but also prep for when things maybe aren't so good. So that's a two-way street. But as far as the budget, it's a simple process. Now I will say this, Coleman. One of the things we're going through right now, and I know the county is too, is we're doing a pay study. For our employees. So that's sort of semi getting finalized. So we'll see how that turns out. But, we want to make sure that our people match what people around us are getting. So that's
inflation has an awful lot to do with it.
It does. We've sort of dealt with inflation the past 2 or 3 years, and so we just have to get matched up right, make sure that the positions are where they need to be. So that's something we're going through, and that's going to be part of the budget. So we'll see how that turns out. But Coleman, overall, I mean things are really good. I mean they really are, and and so
it's great to be alive and live in Lebanon, Tennessee.
It is. It always is. It always will be.
Mayor, thank you so much. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, that's it for a Wednesday. I hope you will join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day.